Python support is coming to Excel. Python support is coming to Excel. This is not a drill. We've also got grouped Dependabot updates and a great new coding font from a surprising source. All that and more on this episode of The Download. Welcome back to another episode of The Download. I'm your host, Christina Warren, Senior Developer Advocate at GitHub, and this is the show where we cover the latest developer news and open source projects. Please like and subscribe, do the things, you know what to do. My shirt this week is a social coding throwback shirt. Social coding was GitHub's tagline back when it launched 15 years ago. God, we are old. Let's get into the news. So we are in the dog days of summer in the Northern Hemisphere, which means that fall and more importantly, GitHub Universe are just around the corner. So just a reminder that you can get your super early bird tickets now at githubuniverse.com. It's going to be November 8th through 10th, 2023 at the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts. Links down below. Okay, so I'm not going to give a big preamble. The big news this week is something that I know that many of us have been wishing for years. And I cannot believe that it's actually a reality. That's right, Python, one of the most beloved programming languages ever, is coming to Excel, which in my opinion is the greatest app that has ever existed. And even cooler, Guido, yes, that Guido van Rossum, who that created Python, worked on bringing this support together, which is astounding. So this is in public preview for the Insiders beta channel for Microsoft 365 right now, and support is only on Windows. Boo, but it's going to be coming to other platforms in the future. That said, this is a really cool thing, and the way that the integration is happening is really slick. So how Python and Excel works is that the calculations will take place in the cloud, running a standard version of Python. And Python and Excel is then going to come with like a core set of Python libraries. This is powered by Anaconda, and it's using a standard secure distribution. And those core libraries include things like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. And you can also import other libraries using Anaconda, which is cool. So how it works is that you can type Python directly into a cell, and then those Python calculations run in the cloud. And your results are returned to the worksheet, and that includes plots and visualizations. And this is really great because you don't have to configure a local version of Python, and since it's cloud-based, you can kind of see a world where you could use this in a web browser or in a client like an iPad. The possibilities are really, really huge, especially for data scientists, and the team is actively taking feedback on features that it can include and scenarios it can support. I'm so excited about all of this. The data visualization nerd in me is just beyond excited. The possibilities that can take place with this stuff is going to be great. It's like that old Reese's slogan, chocolate on my peanut butter on my chocolate, two great tastes that taste great together. I love it. So I've got links to the announcement blog from the Excel team, the Anaconda team, and some getting started docs in the links in the description down below. In some very cool Dependabot news, there is now a faster way to manage version updates with Dependabot. And so you can group multiple version updates together in a single pull request. Yay! So this is especially handy if there's a massive vulnerability that needs fixing, like something like Log4j, where you would typically be stuck in versioning hell, making sure that you're updating the right version of the right branch of each library so that you don't have breaking changes. And this is how Eric describes the scenario in the blog. Previously, Dependabot would open individual pull requests for each update, adding overhead to a developer's workflow and raising the possibilities that related dependencies could fall out of sync. Now, you can specify groups of dependencies to updates with a single pull request, and grouped version updates confer significant benefits to your development process, simplify dependency management, reduced risk of breaking changes, and also an opportunity to phase out third-party tools and manual workarounds, which we love. So how all this works is actually really cool too, and I've got links in the show notes down below to a blog post and docs so that you can get this set up. Go Dependabot, go! Meta this week announced a new large language model called Llama, and that can be used for code generation, and that's similar to the way that things like GitHub Copilot use GPT 3.5 and GPT 4 models. And like the other Llama models, Llama is open access, not strictly open source, meaning that you can access the source code, but you need to use it under specific licensing conditions. This is just the LLM, that there's not a front end to actually run this stuff, but a ton of people are building things already. And look, you might think that it is weird that me, a GitHub employee, is talking about a would-be competitor to GitHub Copilot on a GitHub YouTube channel. But the truth is that this is a really important and evolving space, and it's awesome to see more of these models released so that more work and refinements can be done for all of us. So I've got a link down below to the meta blog, the research paper about Code Llama, and the Code Llama GitHub repo. And now it's time for my GitHub project spotlight. This is where I spotlight a great GitHub repo from the community. And this week, my pick is a new open source coding font. And we are type nerds here on the download. And this font is called Intel 1 Mono, and shocker, it's from Intel. That's actually really cool, but I'm not gonna lie, I was also surprised, but I love to see this. I love to see hardware people doing great fonts. I love it. The font was actually built by Frere-Jones Type in partnership with Intel and VMLY&R, and Frere-Jones Type is actually one of my all-time favorite foundries. So I love this font. I think it's really, really impressive. A big update was released this week, and it is available in a bunch of different weights and styles, and it's open source. So I love it. Well done, Intel. I've got links to that in the show notes down below. And now it is time for my pick of the week. This week is a hard one because it's actually a tribute. Last week, we lost a beloved member of not just the GitHub family, but the open source family, our dear friend, Kris Nova. I had the pleasure of working with Nova twice in my career, and she was an exceptional person, known not just for her work in the Kubernetes and DevOps space, but also for creating the HackyJar Mastodon instance, and more importantly, being an amazing friend and mentor to so many people. Kris was an exceptional person, and I feel privileged to have known her. I've got links down below if you want to celebrate her life and legacy. And on that note, that's going to do it for me. If you like this episode, you know what to do. See you next time.
I am genuinely, I think, the happiest and in the best physical shape of my life. Of all 36 years I've been on this planet, today, right now, in this moment, I am the healthiest and the happiest I have ever been in my life right now. I think, so I did a 20-mile run yesterday, and I also soloed Prospect Peak, a mountain, during the run. And it was a 5th class, I did a 5-7 solo up a 4-pitch trad route with no ropes, just by myself, and then got down and fucking ran out of the glacier zone and ran back to the car. And that was like a Thursday. The weekend before, I did the North Ridge of Mount Stewart, which is like this 50 classic climbs of North America, 2-day, 3,000 foot granite ridge line with a friend of mine. And that was beautiful, to say the least. And I did Mount Rainier. I did Liberty Bell. I've just been crushing them, just been knocking them down. And I got more coming up, so fuck the internet. I'm gonna go climb mountains. Y'all, if you can, if you're lucky enough, please also get outside if you can.